Hi, this is Giovanna Franklin from Homeopathy Heals. Today, I wanted to talk about tissue salts, or as they're also called, cell salts or Schlussler salts. And the title of this video is The Unsung Heroes of Holistic Medicine. And I gave this title to the video because this is what I feel tissue salts actually are. They are sometimes underestimated and overlooked when it comes to quite a lot of symptoms, particularly for acute situations and also for prevention. I also think that tissue salts are a great way to start your journey with homeopathy if you are not familiar with homeopathy, for example, if you are a student, if you just started to study, or if you are interested in homeopathy in general, going to all the remedies that we have in homeopathy, which are really thousands, literally, can be overwhelming and you don't know where to start. So when I'm teaching homeopathy, particularly to beginners, as I say, I start with topics that are kind of small and well-defined. And tissue salts is a perfect example of this because there are 12 main tissue salts, and therefore the program, if you want to study tissue salts, for example, you know that it is a finite curriculum. There are 12 tissue salts that you can learn about, and because of the number, which is quite limited, as I say, compared to the thousands of homeopathic remedies, it is doable. It is easy to understand. It's not rocket science, and you can learn your tissue salts inside out, and you can start using them for yourself. They're incredibly safe because of the low potency, so they can be used by children, infants, the elderly, if you are pregnant women, or breastfeeding. They're absolutely safe. And if you are taking medication or other remedies, they also do not interfere with any other treatment that you are undergoing. So another thing that I wanted to do with this series on tissue salts is dispel some of the myths and give a little bit of a do's and don'ts, and give some guidance about how to use these tissue salts. Okay, so first of all, if you have never heard of tissue salts, they are also called cell salts, Schlussler salts, and what are they? They are essential minerals. They're called Schlussler salts because they were invented by a German doctor in the 19th century called Dr. Schlussler, and he realized that the human body is made out of at least 12 essential minerals that make up the whole body on a cellular level. And because the 19th century is when Hahnemann, Samuel Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, operated, clearly Dr. Schlussler was also influenced by Dr. Bach. Dr. Hahnemann, I'm sorry, I was thinking about Dr. Bach because also Edward Bach was operating in the same period of time, and he invented the Bach flower remedies. So different topic. But anyway, so because of the influence of homeopathy on Dr. Schlussler, he had the idea that perhaps the minimum dose, which is one of the 3 principles of homeopathy, is actually a good idea. Because when we take supplements, and you know this, when we take any kind of mineral supplements or vitamins, most of the time we know that the body will get rid of most of it because we don't need that much. And so it will expel all the vitamin C or most of the vitamin D that we take, or all the other minerals and things, through urine, for example. So the body absorbs very, very tiny amounts, traces of these essential minerals, and that's enough for the body in order for the body to assimilate and also utilize them and make the most of them. And so we talk about micro dosing. And microdosing in medicine, or nano dosing, has become a little bit of a buzzword, and doctors have started to experiment with nanodosing for medication, for regular pharmaceutical medications, even antibiotics, because there is this realization 250 years after Hahnemann discovered this, that the body does not need mega doses of stuff. The body needs micro dosing, and when we have this minimum dose, then the body will know what to do with it and will be able to utilize it and make the most of it. So this is an introduction, and later on I will be putting out videos about cell salts and tissue salts, and we'll explain how to use it and how to use them for specific ailments. What I would like to say as a way of introduction is that talking about dispelling myths, I often put out posts on my Facebook page or my social media, or when I teach about tissue salts. People are obviously very enthusiastic about the tissue salts, but there is this sense that they are a kind of panacea, and they can treat and heal even chronic conditions. And so I often get questions about, can I use tissue salts for brain fog, for example? And brain fog is a little bit vague as a description. So my answer is, okay, I need to know a little bit more of the details. What do you mean exactly? And then there is this long list of, depression and feeling lonely and fear, anxiety, this and that and the next. And these are typically chronic situations. When you get to a chronic state, and when you get to the point where the symptoms are deep-seated because you've had the symptoms for a long time, and you have a full-blown condition, and it could be, as I say, depression or stress, or it could be a physical thing, chronic fatigue or digestion issues. When they are really fully expressed and chronic, then I'm afraid tissue salts are not enough. And this is when you need to decide, okay, I need to work with somebody, work with a homeopath, and work with a different therapist with different modalities, whatever it is. But that's when I would really advise to stop the DIY and work with an expert. But that said, if you want to maintain your health, if you want to prevent certain conditions or nip them in the bud and be able to recognize them, then definitely cell salts are for you. Okay, so definitely the cell salts are the building blocks of the human body. Dr. Schussler is the doctor who invented even the word that we now know as biochemistry, the chemistry of life, because these are 12 chemical components, mineral components, and I'm talking about calcium, I'm talking about calcium phosphate, sulfate, calcium fluoride, but also potassium, different types of potassium, magnesium, phosphoricum, all these minerals that in nano particles, in nano dosage, can really help your health. So this is just an introduction, and you can find my full course on tissue salts on my website, on the shop page of my website, www.homeopathyheal.co.uk. But you can also follow me on Facebook or support my work on Patreon. I have a channel there. I will put all the links below, but you can also follow me here on YouTube, and I will put out other videos in the near future about tissue salts and on how to use them. So I hope to see you there. Bye.